So Liverpool U17s played against Stoke in the U17 Premier League Cup last night, and this tournament always provides us with a really interesting team selection. What we found is that coaches might use this as a step up for under-16 players as a more incremental way of getting them up to speed as the under-18s, and it's a good window into what we might be seeing into the future. From the top of my head, and I could be wrong, the only under-16 players that have been pushed up to the under-18 so far have been Lamar Forrester, who's a forward, and Cameron Williams, who's a left-back, Scottish Youth International. And here we have a good mix of players who are already in the under-18 squad, like Luca Fernell, Gill, Harry Evers, who maybe receive lesser minutes in the league because it is a bloated squad and rotation is important. One thing I found a bit bemusing is that you're only allowed 4 outfield substitutes in the under-18 and under-21 league, which, if we're trying to replicate men's football and get young players as many minutes as they can, I think is a bit detrimental. So from the bat, we've got DJ Bernard. He's a goalkeeper who is alongside Bailey Hall, a first-year scholar. It is Hall that's been used in the league so far, which doesn't suggest too much really. Bernard's been recognised at England camps before, but he's just getting his minutes here at the minute. Liverpool do tend to be a bit more cautious when pushing up goalkeepers. So the backline is one that is experienced at under-18 level. For some players that we know a little bit more about, Harry Evers, Boma, Fernell, Gill, are all players who have at least a year of under-18 football under the belts, although Harry Evers did spend a lot of time injured last season. He's a left-back. Right-back, interesting player. We've got Prince Cisse, of course, son of Gibril. And I say interesting because he is primarily a forward. He's listed on the Liverpool website as a forward. He's played in the forward line. He's played for Wales as a forward. But he's used as a right-back here, which he has done sparingly throughout the season. I've seen him play there for Wales, and he's filled in there last week for the under-18s at right-back. So it's interesting how players play in different positions to aid their development. You learn what's expected of you, what type of passage you want to be playing, what support you need. So moving on into some lesser known quantities, we have as Moran. So we do learn more about the players as they come through, as more information is exposed more to us, how they play. But Moran's a midfielder. He has actually captained England, so which does suggest he's pretty well thought of. It's not the be-all and end-all international recognition, but it's a good feather to have in your cap. Kabara Akunu is a player who I literally know nothing about, so I'm looking forward to seeing more of him in the future. So, no disrespect, I've just not heard anything about him, which is almost exciting really. It's an opportunity to learn about a new player. However, we have Hayden Murray home at the number 8 position, and I've spoken to a lot of people who are connected with the club. I don't usually watch under-16 football, under-15, just under-18 and under-21s, but you do speak to the odd person and they tell you players to watch out for. I've spoken to 3 or 4 different people who have given me 3 or 4 different names each time, but every single time Hayden Murray home comes up. As suggested by his shared number, he's another midfielder. I spoke to one coach of a Shamrock. They said he absolutely ran the game there, controlled the game, could do what he wanted with the ball. Really impressive. Some other interesting picks. So we've got Tyler Martin, who's a first-year scholar. You can tell when he plays for the under-18s, he's still learning. He did play for a couple of minutes for the under-18s last season as an under-16 player, but he's still getting to grips with the league, which is fun. Really technical player. A bit trickery, good ball mastery. Then we have Lamar Forrester, who we mentioned earlier, a player who has debuted for the under-18s. He's primarily a winger. I've seen him play off both the left and the right. But in the recent under-16 national tournament, he has been used as a number 9. I imagine it's in the same way Ronell Young plays as a 9, if you watch the academy. I know that's a strange comparison to make. But he's more of a dribbler, so he floats out wide into the pockets, runs to channels, and hopefully he can add those intuitive runs into his game and get more of a striker's feel. It might be something to watch out for in his development. Actually made his under-18 debut as an under-15 player, which is very rare for Liverpool. And finally in the lineup, we've got Finn Inglethorpe, son of Academy Director Alex. Not seen too much of him, but straight from the bat, I've seen him play moments at the MIC tournaments in previous years out in Spain. Very small, very, very small player, which means nothing. He's been recognised by England. He's been invited to England camps. I believe he's played in the same teams as Joe Bradshaw. Now, it is an interesting dynamic, the son of the Academy Director playing for the Academy. I'm sure he's there on merit. I'm definitely sure he's there on merit. It would be disrespectful to suggest otherwise. Although you can only imagine the comments from online circles, especially some people do tend to be quite critical of the Liverpool academy. Harry Moran on the bench. I'm unsure if he's a relative of Isaac. That'd be a fun dynamic if so, but I'm pretty sure he does have international recognition as well, and that would be with Northern Ireland, which suggests he's not a relative of Isaac, although it's still possible. We have Harry Frith, who's a goalkeeper. That's all I can say on that, really. Cian Berra-Underwood. I don't know too much about this player, but I've seen him play in England squads, which, again, is all I can say. Sian Powney-Wayne, brilliant name, don't know anything about all. Aidan Tomaszewicz, I believe is a midfielder. He's scored for the U17s this season. I believe against Shamrock Rovers on the top of my head. Could be wrong on that. But he's actually a Poland youth international, which is nice to see. A range of countries represented in the academy, which is more rare at youth level. In British academies, you would say, this is mainly in English demographic. Vincent Joseph, another one, not in this team, but representing Germany. So yeah, these are the offshoots of the players that are going to be moving up into the under-18s in the coming years, months, and it suggests just a bunch of names that we can look towards seeing in the next 18 months.